So I've been making Dead Drop content forever. A lot of us have been playing Dead Drop snapshots for what seems like a long time as we move towards early access later in 2024, but I haven't really made a video to discuss why Dead Drop stands out from other extraction shooters and why Dead Drop's time really is now. If you take a look out at what's happening in the extraction shooter space, there's a lot of flavor of the week type things going on. And there's a ton of people making extraction shooters. They seem to be coming out left and right, and none of them stick, right? You've got Tarkov, which is gonna be a mainstay in the extraction shooter and FPS space for a long time, but you've seen a lot of missteps by Battlestate over the last year. They've got that PvE mode debacle, which caused the community to really just cause a huge uproar. Tarkov Arena hasn't taken off at all. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just checked on Twitch. It had 30 viewers last time I checked. So it's obviously not been the success that Battlestate has hoped. And, you know, there are other extraction shooters that I'm going to get into later that I talk about on stream on Twitch that I think will become mainstays in the extraction space alongside Dead Drop. But, you know, you've got games like Gray Zone Warfare, Red River Incursion, Arena Breakout, Project Elite. You had the Day Before in there, which kind of did extraction stuff, sort of. You got the Twisted Path to Renown. A lot of these games, they come out, people play them for a week or two, and then they kind of fall off, right? And like, almost like the Battle Royale boom, I think the extraction space is still waiting for the next big extraction game, which is going to actually stay. But that means it has to be unique. It has to do something different. It can't just be a Tarkov clone, this very slow, punishing, boots on the ground gameplay. You know, Tarkov already does that. You're not gonna carve out a piece of that extraction shooter pie for yourself without being different. So what does make Dead Drop different? And there's actually a lot. If you're not familiar with Dead Drop, or maybe you've played a little bit of Dead Drop, but you haven't really analyzed the gameplay, right? Or you're waiting to jump in when it launches. So let's talk about what makes Dead Drop so unique and have so much potential to be something new in the extraction space. So first thing is the movement. Dead Drop in its current state at least, and I am expecting changes in future updates to Dead Drop as we move closer to early access. Dead Drop is a high movement game. It's very fast paced. The pace of play is much different than a Tarkov or any of those other extraction shooters that I mentioned. There's things like zip lines. The vertical level design makes a huge difference. You can actually push up zip lines with the zip line thruster. You can slide down huge surfaces. You can put your gun away and run fast infinitely right now. There's no fatigue. And again, there may be some changes. And I do expect Dead Drop to slow down a tiny bit, but not a ton. I am expecting some limitations on certain things, but I'm expecting Dead Drop to actually be a game. When I think of Dead Drop's pace, the best thing I think I could compare it to, where I think it could go or may go, is something like Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite is not a blazing fast game, right? But there's a lot of movement text to it. You know, the slide, the grapple shot, stuff like that. You know, the man cannons, they're similar to zip lines. That's what I'm thinking. Things that when the player executes them, the game feels very smooth and satisfying. Dr. Disrespect has talked about this on stream. I don't think it's going to be, you know, Titanfall. You're not going to be wall running and double jumping everywhere. I do think it'll slow down a little bit from where it is right now, but I do think there is still going to be that high risk gameplay. You know, please, please, please keep ledge grabbing Midnight Society. That is something that no other shooter has. That high risk moves where you launch yourself off of high ground or off of a building or whatever and grab a ledge below to save your own life and escape somebody else who's hunting you down when you're low on health. Or those moments make Dead Drop feel extremely unique, and it's so much different. It's so thrilling and adrenaline pumping in comparison to something like Tarkov, just very slow and deliberate. I'm not saying that that's wrong or that that's bad, but what I'm saying is, in the extraction space, to stand out, you're gonna need to do something different, and Dead Drop already does in these regards. Next up is the actual Dead Drop mechanic. You can win the match simply by being the last man standing in the sector or in the match. There's really nothing else like that feeling. It's a little bit like winning a battle royale match, right? And it's not the only way to win. It's a choice. Do you want to extract? And there's going to be sector to sector gameplay down the road. Do you want to move to a different sector? Do you want to fight it out for a high kill game and try to be, you know, the last man standing? There's not another extraction shooter that I could think of that does that and rewards players who do want to play that way. It's great. It's got to stay. Makes it unique, especially for those competitive players out there. Next up is the Midnight Ride. The Midnight Ride is the way you spawn into the map right now. It is a muscle car segment. I do expect it to evolve and advance in the next build of DEADROP to be more polished. You can fight with guns and shoot your guns out the window. This is just a way to change up the pace of things. I like it. I enjoy it. It feels really cool. Again, I expect it to get deeper. You're going to have car customization down the road, stuff like that. It's just a way to break up the pacing of the match, similar to Marauders does with the air combat, but Marauders air combat is very, very, very slow paced. This is much more cool, exciting, and it really changes the pace of things, again, in comparison to those more slower paced extraction shooters that are widely available right now. And speaking of changes of pace, don't forget about user-generated content. DEADROP and Midnight Society are embracing user-generated content, creative mode, Halo Forge, however you want to think about that mindset, by handing the players tools to create their own modes, eventually skins, maps, and gameplay experiences. I know our team at Viper UGC has already crafted some awesome things, basically a bomb plant mode like a Counter-Strike or a Valorant. You've got a very small scale mode that's just head-to-head direct PvP, almost like Call of Duty Gunfight. We also have a hero shooter and payload mode. A lot of other creators have also been working hard on some awesome stuff, and you can join a lot of those, play a lot of those modes that people are making in the early days of this vision for user-generated content. Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, jump into the Midnight Society Discord and try all these modes. But Midnight Society is going to be handing us even more tools, like I said, to create custom weapons and skins and maps. Full blown. Like imagine the Fortnite creative when it's, you know, fully fledged out, offering those types of changes of pace, right? So maybe you've really grinded a lot of the core game and you just want something that's different. DEADROP's going to offer you those things. The community's going to be generating their own experiences and modes. Maybe it's just something you want to just quickly play a couple matches of, just break up the monotony of grinding, whatever. Or maybe you're somebody who really doesn't even like extraction shooters, but DEADROP's a free-to-play game. There's going to be tons of content in here, and that's what we're building at Viper UGC. We're building modes that we hope DEADROP players can play over and over and over again. Not just like a quick, you know, hey, this was a really cool thing, but you could play our modes like literally all day. They're their own standalone competitive experiences in the DEADROP ecosystem. And there's really no other extraction shooter that's doing that right now, offering user-generated content at that level. And the last thing is customization and cosmetics. You know, for whatever reason, a lot of extraction shooters have not fully embraced the player customization and cosmetics at the level that a lot of other FPS genres have. You know, and Midnight Society is still rolling out their plans. We don't know exactly what they're gonna do, but with the high risk, high reward gameplay thing, the weapon mold idea, the contracts, things that they've been talking about from the beginning, right? I think DEADROP's gonna be a game that does fully embrace that concept, and I'm hoping for one that DEADROP can kind of give itself a leg up on the cosmetic front, because a lot of extraction shooters right now, let's be honest, the cosmetics that are available, the ones that even have cosmetics, they're kind of mundane, they're kind of safe. I would like to see DEADROP, you know, really get ahead of the curve in that regard and really make some really awesome skins, customizations, player customization stuff. Of course, you're going to have car customization, hideout customization. And again, I feel like the extraction shooter genre, for one reason or another, whether it's by choice or just by style, is still behind the 8 ball in comparison to games like, you know, Counter-Strike, Valorant. You guys know there's plenty of games that do crazy cosmetics. And I'm not saying that they're going to have the best cosmetics in the industry right off the bat, but I do hope that it's a way that, you know, we know how cool DEADROP is as a game and how awesome the universe is and the vibe is. So I'm really hopeful that on the cosmetic front, DEADROP can really give itself, really stand out amongst the extraction crowd. So that's it for this video, guys. Quick and to the point. If you think I missed something that makes DEADROP different from the other extraction shooters on the market, or the ones coming down the road, you know, there are some others that I think have potential to make a mark on the extraction space. You know, Bungie's Marathon is certainly one. Hunt Showdown is another mainstay. It's got a very specific, the horror thing, the permadeath thing. But I truly believe that for the reasons that I listed here, Dead Drop is going to be a mainstay in the extraction FPS space. You've got to try it. It's going to be different from the other extraction games. I promise you. Check it out. If you want more coverage of Dead Drop and Midnight Society, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're working on our next live action series, saga, short film, whatever we're calling it. So make sure you check out that stuff on the channel as well. See you in the next video. May Reynolds out.